Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Hey, Bowser, MJ, Dorothy, Abnorm, aka Techie. Hey, Jason. Oh, hey, Squirrel. I didn't know that was you. Did I know that was you? It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. So, hey, Callie. Hey, Matt. Today, as the title says, we're going to be doing open panel discussion about these. There's no set topic per se, but we're going to just be talking about true crime pretty much. We can talk about whatever we want. Not everything, because you know how YouTube is and their censorship, especially when you're talking about things that go against the official narrative. Hey, Michael. Hey, Broken Dishes. But so there's no set topic, and I'm going to drop the StreamYard link if anyone's interested in coming up. Tech, if you want to come up, I would love to have you up. TCA, anybody. I want to hear what you guys are thinking. Scotty, good to see you. If you want to try coming up again, I know that you're having audio issues. The first time that you came up. So Bueller, hey, Day by Day. So I will grab that StreamYard link for you. Oh, you probably can't stay long, Scotty. No problem. But I know that you guys like these panels, or you've been liking them. I've only done a couple of them, and I really enjoyed them as well. But again, I would rather you guys come up here and ramble than me. So, because I've been rambling for, I don't know, however long since the Watts case happened, pretty much. So, going on 3 years now. You guys are probably, tired of hearing me ramble. I know I am. So, I want to hear your guys' opinions as well. So there's a link if anybody wants to come up and talk. If you don't want to come up and talk to me, then you're going to have to hear me ramble. And I don't really have anything to ramble about as of yet, but I'm sure I'll think of something. I don't know if you guys were here, or how many of you were here for my last live stream where I went over, or I tried to go over the Astro World debacle. I don't know if that's the correct word, but it's pretty crazy. There's a overwhelming amount of symbolism, your occult symbolism, your color combinations, your numbers, your gematria, that I don't go into too much about, because I just stick with the basic numerology, like your 33s and 13s and 666, but it does go into more depth as far as numbers and whatnot go, and dates. I attempted the whole thing, but I ran into buffering issues, unfortunately. So I'll more than likely do a part 2 or another stream covering the Astro World thing, especially if it's gonna keep progressing. So if we have more people that end up dying, or I don't know if anything else comes out about it. Hey, Hard Eyes. I haven't heard anything recent with the Gabby Petito case or the Summer Wells case, but you guys know that I've been kind of MIA recently, and especially on DLive. I've done a little bit on YouTube, but I've just been kind of taking a little break from all of it. It just gets a little bit too much, even for me. Plus, the majority of all that information that's going on with those other cases, in my opinion, is just a bunch of BS and distraction. And yeah, I'm still repossessing cars. No, I haven't been doing that, Scotty. I haven't been doing that for a week or so, but taking a break from that. Thank you for letting everybody know that I was doing that. Hey, Bowser. Hey, Summer. I think I gotta come up with something besides hey. Like I say it's hey. I don't know. Always a pleasure to have you here, Scotty. No, TCA. I'm not going to be covering just the Travis Scott thing. I don't even know a ton about it. Like when I did my live stream the other day, I just talked about what I saw that was obvious and what I knew. I haven't really delved into that event too much. So please come up if you want to talk about anything. If you want to talk about Petito, we can talk about your case that you're covering. It really doesn't matter. And I know that you guys enjoy these um, panel streams so far. So hey, Ashley. But and if nobody wants to come up, then I can find something else to do. Maybe. I don't have too much of a life, but I can definitely find something else to do instead of just rambling at you guys for however long. So let me pin that to the top so I don't have to keep putting it in. Really quick. I don't know why I said really quick here. Nothing I do is really quick, but okay. There's the pin message with the stream link if anybody wants to come up. This girl, Hannah Rose, predicted something would happen on 11 by Gematria. Really? Interesting. Yeah, I would love for Hard Eyes to come up. Any of you guys, I would love to hear all your opinions, to be honest. But these events, you guys, like they're going to keep happening. Like they're not going to slow down. And that's why it's so important for, me and other people to try to wake people up because they're not going to slow down. So like let's say even if for whatever reason like I'm able to wake up a ton of people or everybody started to wake up. There's nothing we can do about it. There's absolutely zero that we can do about any of the corruption or any of them orchestrating these events. And you guys, if you've been following me or subbed to me, you'll know, and you've heard before many, many times, and I know I sound like a broken record, but again, I'll keep saying this information over and over and over again until I have to. So, but that Smith Modernization Act of 2012 made it legal for the mainstream media and the US government to push propaganda and lie to the public. So whether that be, again, making up a lie about me repossessing cars, like Scotty made up, even though he's not government or mainstream media, like just for example, something about that. Like if it doesn't matter, it could be a small local news event in your town that the mainstream media can make up and literally lie about, whether to sway emotions, push propaganda, or all the way up to 9/11, or even fabricating a quadruple homicide case like the Chris Watts. Oh, yeah, that sounds like something Swampy would say. Yeah, broken dishes, it doesn't matter. We can talk about whatever we want. We can talk about aliens, or I don't care. I don't want to talk. Actually, I lied. I don't want to talk about aliens, but we'll try to keep it somewhat on topic. But anything you guys want to talk about, any questions you have, please come up. If not, we can try doing this another time. It's no problem whatsoever. An affectionate way to say hi, you son of a bitch. How's that an affectionate way to say hi? Scotty, you crack me up. Okay. As long as you say it in an affectionate way and call me a son of a bitch, it's fine. Oh, really, Kelly? I'm not surprised. And I was just talking to somebody about this the other night, and it's like, oh, if Weasel Fauci, if he's getting it, then then it must be important. And then there was I think it was like Fox News, and they had a Santa on, and it's like, hey kids, why did I sound like Barney right there? Like, hey kids, hey kids, Santa is getting his VAXX, right? So, and they're gonna be like, yeah, like, it's all propaganda, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And so I'm not surprised, Kelly, at all. Hey Mo. Hi Mike Up and Mom. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. You haven't missed much, so missed much. Say that 5 times fast. I was gonna say I've never heard of Tesco, but you're in the UK, Kelly, right? Hi Sandy, welcome. So yes, but back to what I was saying about that Smith month. So since they can legally do that, and not only legally do it, but they have no repercussions, and it can't lead back to them in any way. And not only that, but it's all funded. And guess who it's all funded by? It's all funded by the taxpayers. So we're literally paying out of our own pockets and our hard-earned money for these corrupt individuals like our government to literally trick us into giving up our rights, giving up our freedoms, passing underneath our noses by propaganda, deception, by swaying emotions with these tragic events. So hopefully, the goal is to wake people up, more and more people, so that it will at least since there's nothing we can do about it, since they can legally do it. The goal is to wake more people up so that it makes it more and more difficult for them to get away with it, I guess. Hey Sue, it's been a long time. Good to see you. Yeah, my Discord doesn't have much action at all, Sky. Thanks for reminding me. No, I just don't really promote the Discord, and I probably shouldn't promote it that much because I don't keep up with it enough. I even started a Reddit like forum, and I think it's still running, and I haven't even been on there. It's terrible. Probably just close it down. But hey, Chris. It does feel that way. It seems like it just keeps happening, and like I said a little bit ago, it's gonna keep. It doesn't matter if it's like a terrorist attack. It doesn't matter if it's the school shooting. It doesn't matter, like I said, if it's a homicide case or a missing persons case or children case like Summer Wells. Everything, the majority of what they're pumping out from the mainstream media is lies, like 100%. So unfortunately, you can't just turn on the news anymore or read the newspaper or read an article online, and just believe it. And a lot of people do. They'll just turn it on and listen to it and 100% fully believe it without ever asking questions, without ever like saying, I need more evidence, or even trying to vet the information that they're putting out from the mainstream media. Or they'll have their professionals on. It's like, oh, this doctor or whatever, he's talking about this, or this psychologist is on Dr. Phil, so they know what they're talking about, so we should probably listen and not ever ask questions or ask about inconsistencies about what they're saying. Hi, Shay. Scotty, was that done on purpose with the shenanigans thing, or was that an accident? Either way, I agree. Okay, TCA, no problem. I'm fine. I'm just yammering, so. And it's interesting that you guys brought up, or you're bringing up the Rittenhouse case, because I did, I was looking into all that when it happened. I watched the camera footage. I was gonna say body cam footage, but I watched all the footage of what happened and all that was going down. There were no cops around, and I didn't look at it a lot, but thinking about it over the last couple of days with the whole trial going on, it's like maybe this isn't real either. Maybe this is one huge distraction, because that seems to be what another one of those motives are for all these like events or cases that seem to get that mainstream media, like that extensive amount of mainstream media attention. And when the story hits, it's worldwide within a couple days. People are glued to their television, just like the Epstein thing, or I don't know, even like OJ. Like the OJ case, I haven't looked into. I was like pretty young when it happened, but I have heard like over the years a lot of discrepancies with it. And the thing is that maybe it is a real case, but especially when you bring in celebrities, and the fact that he was African American and that whole part about it, it's just everything's televised. Like the Chris Watts case was televised on the day of election day, right? The biggest like voting day of the year. So it's something to think about for sure when all these events are just broadcasted all over the place, like it's a television show or straight out of a movie. And thanks, Bowser. Yeah, that's my rooster buddy. If anybody's been following me for a while, they're pretty familiar with Buddy. He likes to crow right when I start streaming, pretty much. He was a little late today, and luckily he's kind of in the distance right now. Hi, Autumn. But yeah, with the Rittenhouse, I'm again, I haven't been following it too closely, but it's very possible that it could be a distraction 100%, or to push some sort of law, more gun laws, who knows. It's always multiple agendas for these people, if that's what I call them. I don't really want to consider them human, but okay, Scotty, no problem. Thanks for filling us in. Scotty's like step by step everything. He's like, hey, I'm here. Hey, I gotta leave soon. Hopefully I can stay. I'll be back in 5-10 minutes. Yeah, the Kardashians. And I've never, even when I was younger, I've never been into that whole celebrity tabloid, following celebrities. I don't get goo goo gaga over celebrities. There's like some that I might get a little excited about, but like they're just people. They're not anything special, and I just don't get the whole like pro sports player stuff. I mean, if you're a kid and they're like your idol or something, then maybe. But I don't. And plus, it just annoys me with all the propaganda of these celebrities and like Madonna and I don't know, you name them. They've all sold themselves. So, hey, Mary. Yeah, they're not. And a lot of times they're real assholes. Like they're just full of themselves. And the thing was this, like I used to be a huge diehard sports fan. Like really bad. I mean like getting like super upset when my football team lose or my basketball team. And but once I started to wake up, even though I don't like that term, and just see everything for what it really is, as far as people not being who they say they are, and all the corrupt companies, our government, just that pretty much the world's a stage, and it's like it seems like everything is rigged. It seems like life is rigged, pretty much. But I'm not really that into sports anymore, which I also think is a huge distraction. Like so many people are glued to their televisions on Sunday and Monday for football, or Thursdays now, and worried about what this team's doing and what that team's doing, instead of like looking around at like what's really going on in the world, like just with just everything, like all of the hate and just negativity. But people are too concerned about what their favorite is doing or what their favorite sports team is doing if they're winning. Hey, the Pink Dahlia, if you want to come up too, please do. The link is top. Hey, Kensel. Yeah, that's bad, Bowser. If you're a Lions fan, yeah, they're terrible. They're really bad. Nothing to look forward to there, unfortunately. Yeah, Callie, keep the public happy for sure. What's up with the death, June? Y'all too? I mean, all are. And I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and I was in a live stream, and the streamer was playing Eminem, and I was like, I like Eminem, but he's such a sellout. Like, and I wish I was on D Live right now so I could play the video for you guys, because it's so disgusting. It really is. But do I think that Eminem is really very talented and a great artist? Yes. But when I see a video that he puts out and it's all about the Las Vegas shooting, and at the end of the video there's like a ton of televisions and they're all showing different like flashes of school shootings, and it's like, you have your crisis actors that are in there too with their signs that are saying stop the shootings and pushing the gun control, like a complete 100% sellout. And so they don't care. They don't care. They're gonna do whatever they can to make it. So it's unfortunate. um I don't know if your question's reference to me or someone in the chat, Shay, but the Eminem video, I can't remember. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Bowser can help me out, or any Eminem fans. It was a recent one. Let me look it up, because it's pretty disgusting. Give me a second here. But yeah, if it's on D Live, and And that's the thing about DLive. If you guys aren't following me on DLive, please, I'll put my link in the chat, or if one of my moderators can do that for me, I'd appreciate it. On DLive, I can talk about this stuff without having to walk, or all these topics, without having to walk on eggshells all the time and reword what I'm saying. I can play other creators' videos for you. I can play news clips for you without having to worry about getting any copyright strikes or claims. And even, like I said, play the music video to show you the propaganda that's being pushed out. There's this Madonna video that I made, or that I covered and made a video of, that I posted to YouTube, and it was literally up for like, I don't know, like 5 minutes before it got taken down. I didn't even get a copyright claim on it, or jokes on them because I'm not monetized, but they literally took the whole thing down, like just deleted it. But I can't do that kind of stuff on here on this platform, unfortunately. So you've fallen down a new rabbit hole about Vegas. That's interesting. I'd like to hear about that. Like, even in Eminem's new song, it's called God. Wait, that's interesting. Godzilla? Is that Summer Wells' favorite song? Do you guys remember that? With Candace and Dawn, and they said that Summer Wells' favorite song was Godzilla. Let me know if you guys remember that. And that other song too, that was like, it's a horrible song, but "Welcome to My House" or something, by this country. I don't know what they are, but if it is the Eminem song Godzilla, if you watch that video, there's a lot of symbolism in there. There's 13, like aisle 13 is one example. I know that the meat hanging in the meat locker is like symbolic. It's just, he's a 100 complete sellout, 100% sellout for sure. Let's see. The other song that I'm referring to is, and if nobody wants to come up, maybe I'll go over to DLive and I'll play these videos for you guys so you can see if you guys are interested. I have no problem doing that either. I actually prefer DLive over YouTube, but I know that it's a pain in the ass for you guys sometimes to go back and forth. So okay, so the song that I'm referring to, where he talks about the gun control and the Las Vegas shooting, is called Eminem, or it's by Eminem, Darkness. Scotty wants to go to DLive. Okay, I might. And I don't, again, you guys, I don't mind doing these panels. Maybe I'll just try another day and schedule it ahead of time a little bit more so that you guys can have a chance to be prepared and come up and do that. So and we can do a stream just dedicated to that, Shay. If you want to come up and talk about Vegas, I'm down, because I know a lot of information about that case. Michelle Frost, I'm sure you guys are familiar with. She's one of my moderators. She followed the Las Vegas shooting from day one. She knows probably even more about that event than I do. I'm very wary about talking about that case or Mandy Book or any of the school shootings on this platform. Again, I want to say I don't care if I lose my channel, but of course I do care. But I am tired of being censored, without a doubt. So yes, Shay, I know exactly what song you're talking about. The Me and My Monkey. Yeah, that could definitely be predictive programming, 100%. So I just put hoax crimes, broken dishes, because, and I've brought this up before, in a lot of my live streams. Like I knew about 9/11, I knew about the school shootings, I knew about the terrorist attacks and the mass shootings. I, however, did not know, and I had my doubts about for a while about like Maddie McCain or Madeleine McCain, and John Bonet, and I was into true crime. Like I watched the documentaries like on television stuff when I used to watch television, but I had no idea that they, well, one, that the mainstream media, I knew that the mainstream media was putting out a lot of disinformation, but I didn't realize how much until just like, a year or two ago. But I especially didn't know that they were fabricating or orchestrating these true crime cases to push multiple agendas. And I talk about those all the time, and you guys will, this will sound repetitive, of course, if you've been following me for a while, but someone's always going to benefit financially. They're going to do it to pass laws, to take away rights, a distraction, social experiment, sway emotions. And of course, they're all going to be different as far as the motives go, but those are like your main ones because they're all going to cater to that specific event because they're all different. Now, of course, there are these tragic events where people actually do die. For example, 9/11. Many people died in 9/11. So depending on the event, like in order to get what they're trying to accomplish, like people might actually have to unfortunately die. Now, there's other ones that are smaller, like the Watts case, and these like Walmart shootings where they can really get their push their motives without having people die, if that makes sense. So it really just depends on the event itself. Now, it's more likely that they would rather have an event to where people don't die, because when people die, that's when the loved ones of those family members and the victims, that's when they start really asking questions. So for instance, with 9/11, those wives whose husbands passed away, the firefighters, they were demanding answers from the government, from NIST, and saying, hey, why are there so many discrepancies in this event? Why does nothing add up? Why is evidence being destroyed? Why did so many people die? Why aren't our husbands here with us anymore? So they caused a whole bunch of chaos and stirred everybody up and started drawing attention to that narrative that they don't want, people focusing on. That's what they want to try to avoid. And especially when they don't need to do all that, like they don't need to have victims all the time in order to convince people that these events are real. So they're not going to go through all that, and they're not going to want to have to, again, deal with real victims' family members demanding answers. And especially when a lot of these cases and these events have so many holes and discrepancies in their narrative, that's something that they're going to want to avoid 100%. And yes, can some of them be sacrificial? Of course. But I look at everything before I just automatically say, hey, I think this is 100% a hoax. I don't think that anybody died. I go through this process to where I come to that conclusion that it wasn't sacrificial. And I also explain why I don't think that there were actually truly victims. So for instance, with the Watts case, and I brought this up before, it wasn't right away that I came to the conclusion that it was a hoax, that I didn't think that anyone died. It's not just because there's a lack of, it's one reason, that's one main reason why, is the lack of, autopsy photos. There's no proof of, there's no evidence to prove that, to back it up, right? Okay, Pink Dahlia. Hope you feel better. So one, again, there's no autopsy photos. I'm not saying you don't need to release horrific autopsy photos for me to be convinced that it happened. Even if they did, they can be fabricated. They can get a picture of anybody from anywhere. Like, things can be so easily manipulated, especially these days. So even if they did show that, it wouldn't matter to me. It wouldn't convince me. So, but the fact that there is so much lack of evidence or proof that anybody died, that's a huge red flag. But not only that, I look at the family members. I look at from both sides of the victims. I look at their behavior and how they're acting, and what the typical behavior would be, or that you would normally see from like family members that lost their loved ones in tragic ways. And we see that a lot with those crisis actors, and especially like in Mandy Book and Parkland. Like, you have these parents who are allegedly just lost their child in a horrific way by being killed, by those pew pew pews, right? Because you can't say that 3-letter word on here. Nope. Even though I've said gun control a million times. But anyway, who's her that day or the next day, just fairly soon after, saying, "Oh, we're so devastated. We just lost our child." But I don't see tears. I don't see emotion. So they're saying that they're sad and they're distraught and they're devastated, and it just doesn't match their body language. And that's what, and to me personally, I question. And yes, do people deal with death differently? Some people are more emotional. Some people don't cry at all. Some, like, of course, like, and I also take that into consideration. But keep in mind, again, you're talking about literally the day of, and not only does their actions not match their words or their body language, but they're also already pushing for some sort of law to be passed or some sort of freedom to be taken away. And that's another one of those red flags to look out for. If they're pushing for something to take away any of our rights or any laws, look out for that after these tragic events. But that's one thing that I look at. So lack of emotion, duper's delight is a huge red flag. But for instance, with the Watts case, I'm not seeing how, like, the women with 9/11, like the wives who lost their husbands, I'm not seeing that same emotion. I'm not seeing the Watts, the Watts side or the Ruseks. I'm not seeing them asking and demanding answers from Rourke, from Weld County, from the government, from law enforcement. They're too busy trying to cause chaos on social media. They're too busy going on Dr. Phil. They're too busy broadcasting their daughter's Facebook account for the whole world to see, because I've talked about that before. There's a huge reason behind that, why Shanann's Facebook was left open or public. And they're too busy streaming the funeral live, to really pull at those heartstrings, and work people up and get people emotional, and also to distract, because everyone's standing around their televisions watching Chris Watts be, sentenced to life in prison, because that's the most important thing going on at the time, right? No, it absolutely not. And they're too busy staying on social media when they've clearly contradicted themselves many times by saying, "Oh, we try to stay off social media and live our lives, but we're getting death threats." Yeah, I mean, you guys know, you guys have heard this, especially if you guys have been subscribed to me for a while. If you're new here, then you probably haven't heard this before. So I don't mind repeating myself as many times as I have to, to really make people see what's going on with these events. So instead of doing what they said and staying off social media to mourn the deaths of their family members, they actually insert themselves into social media, not only on social media, but into the true crime community, where that's all we do is talk about the deaths of their family. That's just true crime. And not only do they insert themselves in the true crime community, but cause chaos. They are going from channel to channel, supporting the ones that advocate, so-called, for them. Hey, Sophia. And, being negative towards the ones that are actually asking questions and are not believing the narrative, and saying, "Hey, you can't talk about the case. You can't even say our names. If you talk about the case or you talk about conspiracies, or if you mention our names, then we're going to come after you, or we're going to take your channel down, when they clearly can't do that because it's a highly publicized case, and they're the ones that publicize it even more by streaming the funeral and going on Dr. Phil and ABC, and that's both sides of the family. So when I see behavior like that from both families who are causing chaos, contradicting themselves, trying so hard to convince us on social media, of all people, like, why do they care? Number one, what we think. Why do they care? Why do they give two shits what any of us on social media or think? If that was my family member and I knew that they were no longer on this earth, I wouldn't give a shit what anybody on social media had to say. I really, really wouldn't. But what they're doing is they're spending more time trying to convince us that there's no conspiracy, that law enforcement did such a fantastic job on the case, even though clearly, and we all know, if you've been following the Watts case, that there's many, many red flags and holes in its narrative. Many people that think it's a cover-up, when really, in my opinion, it's not. It's just orchestrated. Not only that, but they have how many GoFundMes have they had? How much money did they make? They made, when Shanann was still missing, you guys, on Facebook, Lauren Arnold, her friend, made I don't know, it's like a GoFundMe of Facebook. It's like a fun Facebook fundraiser, not a fundraiser. I don't know. Anyways, it was to raise money for the Ruseks to fly out to Colorado to help find Shanann and the girls. The first week, they made $160,000. The Ruseks did. That's some pretty pricey plane tickets. And I don't think they even ended up coming out to Colorado until much later. I can't remember. It was so long ago. But so just imagine how much money the Ruseks, and especially the Ruseks, but the Watts as well, from just people pouring in donations to these family members. And that's what really pisses me off as well, is that knowing that case is 100% orchestrated. And the thing is I've provided over the past 3 years more than enough information and evidence that to support what I'm saying. Yeah, broken dishes, 165,000. Yeah, something. Don't quote me on that, but it was in that range. But that's one of the things. It's not like the biggest thing that pisses me off, but just knowing that these deceitful people who are a part of these orchestrated events are profiting off, well, not only like deaths, even if it was real, right, but fake deaths. So people are donating their hard-earned money to these two families who are deceiving people. So it's no wonder that they don't want people talking about the case. It's no wonder that they don't want people talking about conspiracies. It's no wonder that they are trying to convince us that there is no conspiracy. If anybody is standing up there and again, instead of mourning the deaths of Shanann and the girls, staying off of social media and trying to live their lives, they are trying so hard to cause chaos and to convince us of no cover-up or conspiracy. Why? So, and I know it takes me a long time to kind of get to my point, but again, it's more than just not having proof of autopsy photos or any sort of case evidence. That's just one thing that I look at, but I look at the behaviors of everybody involved, of the behavior, and especially the family members. So when I don't see them demanding answers and asking, especially with so many inconsistencies in the case, not demanding and pounding on Rourke's door saying, why are my loved ones no longer here? Why wasn't Nicole Kessinger investigated? Why was she not treated as a suspect, considering that she was the closest person to Chris Watts? And why are they trying, the family members, so hard to say, oh, yeah, they did such an amazing job. And we know that Chris is guilty. He's behind bars. Nothing to see here. Carry on. When they should be asking questions as to why nothing adds up. Why are there more questions than answers with all of these cases, these mainstream tragic events, when we have all of this information released? Like the body cam footage, the discovery, almost 2,000 pages. It's not a lot. It seems like a lot, but it was cherry picked. But with them being so supposedly transparent, why are there so many, unanswered questions when it should be open and shut? It's like, oh, he pled guilty, and he's now in prison. We got who's behind bars, open and shut case. But it's not. There's so many unanswered questions. Why? Why is that? When we had so much documentation and so much information, even though I say so much, but we really didn't have that much because, again, it was cherry picked. Yeah, Ashley, exactly. And then that's just, yeah. And yeah, don't get me started with Molly Golightly, man. She's something else. And I think she's one of those controlled opposition. She's there just like that Jonathan Lee Riches that I talk about, just like some of the other bigger, couple of channel creators in true crime that always seem to have like the breaking news on the case, or they seem to get all the family members to come on and get interviewed. Stuff like that, information that nobody else does seem to can get, or just the ones that are controversial, but their channels still seem to be going strong. But then someone like me, I'm struggling to even keep my channel up, and I have to watch everything I say. But they can pump out this information left and right, but nope, they're not. Their channels again, or they're just getting bigger and bigger. So, but yeah, Ashley, I agree. But so again, as I was saying, there's so many different things that I look at besides, just the fact that there's lack of evidence or proof that anyone died. I want to see these family members not broadcasting the funeral for the whole world to see. I don't want to see them going on Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz and showing no signs of emotion, no sadness. You have them, wiping their faces, but there's no tears. So it's like they know, like they're trained or whatever, or they practice on what to say, but they're just so terrible that it doesn't come naturally. Do you guys know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? And thank you, Bowser. I really appreciate that a lot. Thank you. You heard Molly's in the club? Yeah, well, she seems to be all over the place with these, and she's one of those people that it's like she's, not for nothing. She's loud. She can talk. She tells people what they want to hear or what they don't want to hear. So she draws in like both sides. Yeah, Ashley, right? I know. Yeah, definitely. I know. And I try not to laugh at times because even though like I can clearly see it, and I know that some of you guys can clearly see what's going on, and more of you are starting to wake up slowly, which is great. I sometimes forget that it's not as easy for people to see these things. And so, but that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm doing this. So that people aren't deceived anymore. Like I would rather be someone that says, yeah, I was duped. That sucks, but at least I won't, shame on them, fool me once, but at least now I won't be affected by these cases emotionally. And a lot of these cases they affect people's lives emotionally to where they can't sleep at night. to where it's very, very, very sad. And that's another one of those things that pisses me off a lot. And you guys know me, I try not to get, I try to stay neutral when I talk about it, because I definitely don't, when I talk about the mainstream media swaying opinions all the time, or other channels, I don't want to be that person that sways anyone's opinions with being like, getting all worked up and emotional or anything like that, or whatever. I want you guys to make your own decisions. I'm only here trying to, you know, provide you guys with the information that I've learned over the years from people like Oli Damengard and RV Truth, and just people that have been doing it a lot longer than I have, and providing that information with you guys. And what you want to do with that information is on you. You have to be the ones that go and look up this information and do the research like I did. So when I was skeptical about 9/11, I went and I watched video after video after video, and there's tons and tons of conspiracy videos on 9/11. And then it went, down another rabbit hole, and then there was Vegas. And it's just, and there's so many that and TCA is on. So just give me 1 second, TCA, to finish my my point if I get there, and then I'll bring you on. But again, it's like, and it's difficult because especially when they do such a great job of scrubbing information. And that one of those organizations that I've talked about many times on my channel is that Honor Network. And the Honor Network, they say that they're there to advocate for victims, yada yada, but they're not. It's a front. They're there to scrub anyone who goes and talks about these tragic events and talks about conspiracies and points out the inconsistencies. They're there to take those channels down, mass flag the channels, and stop them from exposing these cases for what they really are. So the information is still out there. You just have to find it and want to do the research. Allison.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good. Talk about a distraction. As soon as you come on, the internet people show up. It's
Oh
like
no.
you guys couldn't have done this at the worst time ever. No, I was listening
Okay. I'm
though,
glad
and
you're here.
yes, I really don't have a lot to say other than, thank you for everything you're doing, and the other mods in the chat is I love your channel, and you are really opening up a lot of people's eyes.
Oh, thank you.
Especially mine. And so I'm really happy that there's channels out here like yours. And I know you guys have talked about a little bit of the Summerwells and the Watts and the Gabby, the Travis, what is his name? The Travis, the Travis Scott event.
Oh yeah.
I really didn't get a chance to hear you guys say a whole lot about that, but I'm going to go back and rewatch it too. I don't expect you to say anymore, but do you think it is a controlled event?
See, when I did this stream 2 days ago, I really, to be honest, I haven't looked.
Yeah.
I just don't. I'm so. It's easy for me to, whether it be like an actual like sacrifice or people who died. I know that either way, there's some sort of organized part of it for sure. So and like, especially since you've been, starting to wake up fully from these events, that once you are aware of them, they're so, for the most part, really, really easy to spot. And especially with all the symbolism crap that they put in it, it's just, again, I hope that the symbolism will be their downfall, because people are starting to realize it and they're getting sloppy. But it's just, there's so many people out there that just literally believe everything that they're told. And that's why, like, I renamed my channel Think for Yourself, because people really don't. They say, oh, if it's mainstream media told us, it must be real. If Dr. Phil told us, he's a doctor, right? He's on TV, it must be real. Like, but it's just really not the case. But as far as like answering your question, I haven't looked into the Rittenhouse thing extensively. Not Rittenhouse, I'm sorry, the Travis Scott thing extensively, but I do feel like it's orchestrated, yes, and planned.
Yeah, I do too. Just from the little bit that I have seen, um, I'm watching a lot of YouTube videos, and there's a lot of people. I was really shocked, but there's a lot of people that are saying the same thing that I've never even seen before, other channels. I mean, you have the EMTs that didn't even know how to do CPR. I
Right.
mean, it's just the necklace that now Brittany said this the other night, the necklace that Gabby had on, not the triangle one, but the circle one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
She said
remember.
something, about that. It's the same thing, the same symbol that was somewhere in the Travis Scott, whether it was on his shirt or on the flyer, I cannot remember. But so,
I
I mean,
believe
it
it,
just,
and yeah, and they
yeah,
use the same ones over and over again, and even if they don't, it's like how many times they have to keep popping up until it's not coincidental anymore. And welcome, Amy. Thanks for being here. But and that's with. It's very likely that yes, it's a possibility that there could be people that were trampled. Like so, unfortunately, you're gonna have those events where you're gonna have your innocent bystanders or like your different type of victims. So you're gonna have the ones that are there, like your crisis actors, or the ones that were like that know what's going on, but you're going to have the ones that are your unknowing and unwilling victims who are unfortunately just in the wrong place at the wrong time. So yes, it's very very possible that these
yeah,
people in this concert did indeed die. Again, I haven't looked into it as much and watched like I haven't been able. I couldn't find the video of the one that Melissa showed, and if someone can please drop Melissa Jade's channel and TCA's channel in the chat while I'm thinking about it, please. I would appreciate it. They're doing a great job covering these true crime cases. They're two great ladies, and I respect them very much. I'm terrible with shout outs, but yes, please do that. But I don't even remember what I was saying. But with the whole victim thing, unfortunately, they're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And but oh, I remember what I was saying. That I haven't been able to find that video of where the Melissa showed of the chick that not the chick. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say chick. The young lady
the
that
the
was
nurse.
dropped. That was dropped.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that was awful. I
yeah,
couldn't.
I
It made me
haven't been
sick
able
to
to
my
see that
stomach.
close up or anything, but to really decide whether or not she did it, and I don't want to like offend anybody,
Yeah,
but I mean, I'm seeing the same thing happening with this Travis Scott concert that I did with Las Vegas. And what's interesting about Las Vegas, and you probably won't be able to find these videos anymore. They've probably been scrubbed. Maybe if you really dig, but there is like clear evidence in these videos that they were using dummies, like the ones that are realistic dummies that they use to train military soldiers or EMT soldiers, and to where they look realistic, but then they really don't. Like they look very rubbery. There were several
well,
videos that were
that
like
lady
that.
they dropped, she looked rubbery. She looked really limp.
And there's if you go to and if I can try to find it, or maybe I'll post it in the video description. But there is a website where it's this whole military company that and people have covered. And if Michelle Frost was here, she would probably know because she knows a lot about the Las Vegas shooting. But um, they literally show how they can use like realistic blood, the gashes, gunshot wounds on these realistic dummies. And I say realistic because they do really look, and even they're like almost like the ones too. I don't know if you've heard of those or seen those where like doctors when they're going through medical school, they'll perform heart surgeries on them and stuff because they have all the organs and stuff inside them as well. I don't know if these ones that they use in like Las Vegas shooting are like that, but they are very realistic looking. You have in the Las Vegas shooting, one of them was being carried off by a wheelbarrow. Like, where did a wheelbarrow come from in the middle of like a concert ground? Like that kind of stuff.
And you go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
go ahead. I'm done.
Well, I
Go
was
ahead.
just saying. You were saying about the look like the fake blood. if you really watch that video that you're talking about where the women, they're taking her and they drop her on her
Mhm.
head, there was quite a bit of, I mean, I know head wounds bleed a lot, but just for a second, her head hit and then they showed the blood. And it was a pretty good size area for just being down there, not even probably a second. I mean, it shows her falling and then come bringing right back up.
I'll have to see if I can find that video because I'd like to look at it more extensively for sure.
I would
But,
love for you to deep dive into this one
and it's
if you
always
get
and
a
with Las
chance.
Vegas. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying I would love for you to deep dive into this one.
Yeah, no, yeah, I definitely want to look into it more. But with Las Vegas, there's always like you'll notice there's a select few videos. So you have, and I don't know about Travis Scott, but with Las Vegas, there were like thousands and thousands of people there, right? And we still had only like the videos that came out that were released by the mainstream media and a very select few. And it just so happened to be ones that really pointed out the trauma. Do you know what I mean? Like, so out of all these concert goers, you're telling me that there's only this certain amount of videos that people caught with all your cell phone footage? And it's just like kind of similar to the Chris Watts case. It's like you're telling me that all the internet search histories that Nicole Kessinger had and Chris had done, there was only like 5 that you guys thought were relevant, or that it just how convenient that Chris just so happened to get caught on camera by the neighbor Nate, right? It's all about convenience. And so that's interesting as well to me. But
who were you saying that really knows a lot about the Las Vegas? I haven't looked into that one. Who did you say that was?
Michelle Frost.
Does she have a channel?
She does, yeah. I will, if one of my moderators can do that. If not, I will. Hopefully, she'll be here. But
okay,
she usually is. But yeah, she does live streams. She posts some videos, but she covers the Las Vegas shooting, but other things, the VAXX and the virus and stuff as well. So, but she, like I said earlier, she covered it, the Las Vegas shooting. She probably knows more about it than I do. But
okay.
Yeah.
I really want, I'll go and look on her channel. And I hope that it doesn't seem like I'm interrupting. I think there's a little bit of a delay.
Oh, no, of course not. No, not at all. And I'm still getting used to this too. So if I cut you off as well, I apologize.
Oh no, it's fine. I just don't want anybody to think I'm rude, because I do get a little excited when I want to say something, my mouth opens and I don't mean for it to.
No, if anybody's rude to you, they're gone. So that's.
Oh no, nobody's being rude. Nobody has been rude to me. I mean,
good.
Nobody,
I mean,
not ever.
Really, yeah. See, and I just cut you off, so I'm a rude ass. See, I'm being rude. But no, like I have a really, really great following, and
yes, you do. It's probably one of the better I've ever seen. Everybody, you're not just your moderators, all the subscribers, just the people in. I think a lot of people have a lot of respect for you, Megan. So you should be proud.
I am proud. It's a good feeling knowing that. And no, but I really appreciate. I'm glad you came up here. Because I love talking to you about all this stuff. And you saved me from having to ramble about the Watts case again and again. Because I know I really do. I'm sure I sound like a broken record, but I have to be. Like, it's just, and I'm not going to just talk about just drama or who's swapping boxer shorts with Chris Watts. Like, that's not what my channel is about. I'm about exposing the truth and waking people up. So
can I ask you this? You had mentioned this other case. I can't remember his name. The young kid that shot somebody during the rioting. You know who I'm talking about? I just watched where they're going to be deliberating. The
Rittenhouse case?
Yes. Do you know anything about that case at all? I'm sorry if I'm bringing something up. I heard you say something, but
that's okay. I know you're dealing with the internet guy, but I mentioned that I watched all that footage when it happened, but I haven't really followed a lot of the trial. But thinking about it, like the past couple of days, I'm beginning to think that it could possibly very well be a distraction. Now, whether it could be, and it could be real as well, but the fact that everything is displayed, like the entire trial is like there for everybody to see, that could be a distraction 100%. So yes, it could be all completely fake and a distraction with the trial, or it could be real and just trying to distract people. Like, you know, so it's like, look at this trial, this Kyle Rittenhouse trial, everything that's going on. Look over here, glued to the television, and don't look at what we're doing over here, like passing a law or whatever the case may be. That's what one of the main motives are for these, with the distraction, is to pass laws underneath our noses and just really, really draw people in the opposite direction from what's really going on in the world, pretty much.
Which is scary stuff. Very scary stuff, what's going on in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's
a lot
very
of bad
scary.
things
Yeah.
going on. Yes.
And with the Gabby Petito case, it's like, how many people did that draw in? I mean, people were glued, still probably, I don't know, not me, but like, what's going on with Gabby Petito? Dog the Bounty Actor's on it, and now John Walsh is in on it. He's gonna find it. You know, it's like, and it's, you couldn't turn any direction without seeing Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie. It's like there's so much other things that's going on in the world, and we're talking about just two individuals out of hundreds and hundreds of, you know, people that are dying, that are getting murdered, that are going missing, and everyone is glued to their television about these just two individuals. And not that they're, if even if it were real, like it doesn't make their deaths any more important than anybody else's, or nor does Summer Wells. Nor is she's not more important than any other of the hundreds of thousands of children that go missing all the time, right?
Exactly.
Maybe not hundreds,
you think about
thousands.
Well, lots. I mean, yes. Harry, speaking of John Walsh, you got, you know, my friend's brother that came up missing back in 1984. Well, before it was 1988, his parents contacted that show that John Walsh used to, whatever that was back in the day.
America's Most Wanted. Is that still on?
Yeah, yes. I think that's one. Well, anyway, they contacted them to help find Harry and talked to the producer and everything. And the producer called back and said, no body, John will not deal with it. So then when Gabby came along and they were trying to look for her and there wasn't a body, I thought to myself, I was frustrated. I was very angry because he's out there looking, but yet there was no body that they knew of. You know, it's just frustrating. And I lost a lot of respect for all that. And you just what is that those two guys that go in and search in ponds and lakes for people that are missing? They go in, it's adventure, or somebody help me out here.
I can't help you out.
Like, they go in.
Recovery? I don't know.
Yeah, they go in and they have all this sonar. They go diving to search for missing people that have probably went off into a lake or whatever. Well, anyways, they're all over the YouTube, and they actually got somebody. It was a young kid, maybe 18 years old. He had a yellow bug, I think, and they found it in a pond. And they went there, they recovered him, and now they're filing a lawsuit against the state or the county of this guy that he was from, because some of the reward money, they took it down after so many years, because this happened a long time ago, like, I don't know, 12 years ago or something, which isn't a long time to me. But so they took some of the reward and used it for other things, like the family did, because well, now these people are, this company, this Discovery thing, they're suing the town. And we've contacted them, and there isn't enough reward money. So obviously it's a lot about money to these people.
Right.
And which is frustrating, very frustrating.
Oh yeah,
to families.
And that's with the case that you're covering. That's what pisses me off as well about these orchestrated events, because you're trying to truly get, advocate for this person who, there's clearly like a cover up. Nobody's doing anything about it. And it's truly real, but then you
Oh
have
yeah,
so many
we know
people.
where he's at. We know exactly where is at. These two brothers came forward back in April and said they were 7 and 9, and said that they was not supposed to come out of the house. Well, they snuck out of the house and they were hiding behind a tree, and they seen exactly what happened to Harry and where they put him. These two guys that don't even live around here, these brothers, came back and took the sheriff out there, and they were supposed to start digging after the hay got moved off the field. And then they said, well, now we have to wait for the first frost. Well, they said something would be done by the end of October. Well, the end of October came and still nothing. They are covering for somebody, and it's frustrating. So frustrating.
Yeah. They're covering, or they just simply don't care. And I've mentioned this to you before, is like with these small towns, it's like it doesn't really, it's almost like they don't even want to even just go there. Or like, let's say if it's for instance, I don't know, I don't know, like a bum or something, that a homeless person that goes missing, and like nobody's gonna be out searching for him, right? But then it's like when
Yeah.
Gabby Petito, like this young, pretty girl, goes missing, then it's like, oh, everybody, we have to go out and look for her because it pulls people in, and she's so beautiful, and it draws people's emotions. But it's just
Yeah.
like it's very, very sad, and that's unfortunate about true crime, because in my opinion, I feel like it's not, and that's why I titled this video, this live stream, and I've done it before, but about it being a hoax, because in my opinion, I'm not, and that's the thing, not a lot, but several people have said in my comments, they're like, well, what are you trying to say, Megan? Are you trying to say that murder is not real? Because it's clearly, it's very real. And I'm like, well, clearly that's not what I'm saying. I mean,
Exactly.
murder is 100% real, and it happens all the time. What I'm questioning is why these specific events or cases get so much mainstream media attention over others. For example, Harry's case, right?
Yeah.
Why
And
is that?
Ashley A is asking Harry who, what's the name of the case she's talking about? Ashley, it is it's called he's Harry Dennis Milligan. He was from Albia, Iowa. You can look at everything, and but just trying to do something. I told the sheriff, I said, okay, I'm going to just go out there and start digging. And he's like, if you do, we'll have to arrest you. It's private property. And I said, well, I've got the okay from the company that owns this land now. And he said, it doesn't matter. I'm like, why? They gave me the okay. I mean, something is
Yeah,
going on, and I don't know what it is. I have no idea. Something's not right, though.
yeah, definitely not. It definitely does not sound right. Yeah. And I would like, you're gonna cover that more, right? I'd be really interested
Yes.
to cover that.
Yes.
I mean, to,
Yeah.
and
I
even
don't
if you
know.
want to do it on here, that's something that I would like. That's true crime to me. That's true crime to me. It's, and like I was saying a little bit ago, that it doesn't seem like it's really true crime anymore. It's like true crime drama. It's like true drama. I don't know. It's just, and all these channels are so focused on advocating for these mainstream cases, and because not all of them, right? And I'm not saying all of them, but they're why are they not focused on all of the other missing children and people that get murdered all the time? There's cover-ups that happen all the time. We just don't know about them because the mainstream media is not putting out their stories compared to these
Yes.
bigger events that
Do you know
clearly.
Chris McDonough?
Oh,
I think his
yeah.
name.
Where did he come from anyways? Like, I don't even know
I
where
have
that guy
no
came from.
idea.
Was that
I
like,
have no, but I
yeah,
emailed him, I bet 50 times, and no response.
really? Hey, Round and
Uh
Round.
huh.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
Um,
I've emailed a lot of cold case, different people and I don't get a response.
Like,
I
in
don't
my
know.
opinion, he's more than likely controlled opposition as well. Like, I don't think that everybody, like, I know I sound kind of crazy sometimes, like, oh, like, I don't think that everything is fake. I don't think that, all murder is fake. I don't think that everyone is controlled opposition in true crime, but there are some individuals that are questionable in some cases as well.
You're not the first person that has said that. I have been told that by several.
So yeah,
several
and
people.
it's like his channel blows up, and what has he done for the Summer Wells case? What has he given us any new information? I don't follow him because I
don't either.
I can clearly see that he's there for other purposes than to really he's there to put out some information and some factual information with probably a whole lot of disinformation and keep people focused on the case and distracted, in my opinion. So,
yeah.
But
and
yeah,
I've had. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Allison.
Oh, I was just saying that I've had several people tell me that they'll do my case and stuff. It just seems something always seems to come up. And I know Melissa will do, she's been busy, and Alex Erickson, but actually Wednesday night, I'm going to be going on Brandy True Crime Uncorked. She asked me last week if I would come on and talk about Harry on her channel. So I'm really happy about that. Yeah.
I don't think I'm familiar with your channel. If she's
a very small. Okay. Yep. She's a very small channel. I don't really know her. I started a channel and I haven't done a whole lot as far as Harry, and I needed to get back into that. It's almost like I didn't give up, but I was getting frustrated with just everything. And I actually told Amanda yesterday I'm going to start doing Harry. Another friend of mine, she is starting a channel regarding Harry. She's from around here and she knows even more than what I know. So we're going to do some panels together too. And I think the more people that is aware, the better. And once some other, things calm down, I will be going on Alex Erickson's for sure. And hopefully Melissa's, when she's been so busy. And Larry, I was supposed to go on just Larry's, but something came up with him. And then the next night, my refrigerator started leaking. It's like, oh my gosh.
No. I know. It's one thing after another, right? It's just like, oh man. Hey, Shan.
It'll happen. It'll happen.
Oh, thank you, Melissa. Yeah. Okay, good. I was going to say, if someone
is Melissa in here? Oh, yes, she is. Hey, Melissa.
That's Brandy's channel, so that's good.
Thank you. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll definitely check that out. And I really think it's great what you're doing for his case. And I wish that more people were covering cases like that. And I would do it, but I'm really, and I know I'm in the true crime community, but the true crime is not really my forte. My forte is, exposing the fake ones. But I'll support anything that you do. You
keep doing what you're doing. You definitely keep doing what you're doing. We need more channels like you.
Yeah, you too, and Melissa, and I really appreciate all you ladies for sure. But I think I probably will end this though. And I appreciate you coming up here, Allison.
Okay, well, you have a great night. And thank you for letting me up.
Of course, anytime. And we need to get together so I can come up on your channel again for sure. If you want to do that still, I would love to do that. So.
Okay. Well, everyone, thank you. And I will talk to you soon.
Thanks, Allison.
Yep. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, so thank you so much, Allison, for coming up, and sorry if I rambled, you guys, but I was hoping that somebody would come up and save me. So Allison, thank you for saving me so I didn't have to ramble too much today. But if you guys do want me to continue to do these panels, I will. And I will try to give you guys a little bit more heads up in the future so that I know I'm the worst about that. But thank you, everyone, for being here again. I really appreciate your support. Any of my moderators that want to, again, put any channels that they want to recommend in the chat, please do so. And again, thanks everyone for being here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.